City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, I was raised on its edges. My pop worked his life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people. This is a city I met all my best friends, and I wanna thank every brick. I wanna thank every entrance to every building that I step in this city of mine. I'll owe you most my best moments in life. See, I fell in love for the first time in Golden Gate Park. I saw my first rap show at Great American Hall. I used to beg my homies for a ride across the bridge to goof off and spend the whole damn day doing whatever we want. Keith drove us down to Ike's place while we roll up a blunt, and me and Jack would get stoned, walk around and get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly pay back all I was lucky to get just by walking through the city. No, I'm a small part of this.
City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
I never really had a place to call my own, so I travel and I roam till I find that. But I'm full of adventure, so I wander and I venture, and it's safe to say that really I don't mind that. I book a flight to try to figure where my mind's at, a spot where I don't spend no money, just some time at. I mix and mingle with the people till I learn a little. I brought some weed and baby, maybe we could burn a little. She said you're funny, I said no, I'm Xavier, then I left. Sun shining, birds chirping, let me take a breath. I'm headed to the city where my chance to make it best. What people like to give a little, then you take the rest. I'm hoping one day maybe I can find a place to rest. I fell in love with life and wonder where it take me next. I like the hustle and bustle, I fell in love with the fashion. I feel the pulse of the city, it's moving me like a passion, and it's mine.
Hometown, baby, we go way back. All the situations, circumstances, still we don't mind. Steady going on, I dance around the street lights. Hey, I know every street sign, hanging around the block. Like if you are my friend, then you are welcome any moment. Yeah, city of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, welcome. Turn the music down on my end. Dude, that first song was, I've been waiting to share that one with you guys. That is City of Mine by Snake City and Panda Raps. Panda Raps is kind of an interesting character on Epidemic Sound. The raps are great. The rhymes, I get the bars. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that as a dad? They're great, but he does it like he sounds like he has braces or something like that. Like it's kind of like nerd rap. So yeah, love that. All right, how are you guys doing? It feels like it's been a while. Thursday's stream got canceled. I had something pop up, but oh yeah, right. It is City of Mine by Snake City. Anyway, how you guys doing? It's been a while. I'm feeling good. Yeah, it is a banger. Hey, what's up, Sam? Afroha Akhtar over on YouTube. Hello. Thank you. I am doing great. Manny, as always, good to see you. Good to see everybody. I'm looking forward to this stream today because I've made some pretty good progress on the site. I'm excited to show it off. Hey, Heather. Hello. Zach, what's going on? So, weekend. What did I do this weekend? Oh my God, it was Mother's Day. Guys, I ordered my Mother's Day gifts for my wife. Well, I should say, I ordered my children's Mother's Day gifts about 4 weeks ago because I knew I was going to forget. I was like, they're going to get here and I'm going to have them. As soon as they arrived, I wrapped them. They were in the closet just waiting because I knew that like the Friday before I was going to have a panic attack that I didn't do anything for Elise. And sure enough, last week was crazy. I had so much on my plate. It was just like, man. So then Mother's Day rolled around and totally forgot, but I was prepared. Okay, so that's a lesson to all you dudes out there. Set a date on your calendar like a month before these special events so that you remember to prep for it, because then when the last minute hits, you already got stuff ready to go in the closet, in the attic. Yeah, that's it. Hey Christian, good to see you. Sean, hello. Yeah, it's good to be prepared for holidays, but not just holidays, like the holidays that only celebrate your wife. Those require special prep. Yeah. Also this weekend, I got suckered into this anime. Do we have any anime fans in the chat? Let me know. Let me know what your favorite anime is. I'm not 100, like, I wouldn't call myself a fanatic. I've always watched anime, but it was more like on a surface level, like Dragon Ball Z kind of level. But I just got pulled into Jujutsu Kaisen on HBO. Dude, I binge watched the crap out of that thing. Like, just it was bad. My entire Saturday was dedicated to that show. It's great. You dabble in anime? Yeah, Kojo over on YouTube says tips to stay out of trouble. Yeah. Hey Moonraid, good to see you. MDS just watched Demon Slayer. Nice. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll check that one out. Honestly, the favorite so far has been Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, it's silly, but I liked it. Attack on Titan was obviously a classic, so that's got to go in top 3. I don't really remember many other ones. I tried Hunter x Hunter. I couldn't get through it. I just could not get through it. How about you, MDS? You binged Invincible on Amazon? Nice. Hey, Hugo. My favorite part about anime is fillers. I noticed something with anime. It's like there's about 10 to 12 minutes of show, and then there's about 10 to 12 minutes of opening sequence, right? So like credits and stuff like that, and then closing sequence, and then there's usually like a bonus thing at the end that is just completely unrelated to the series. It was like the realization happened with Jujutsu Kaisen when I realized that I could literally skip about half of the video in the episode. That's probably why I was able to binge both seasons. One Punch Man, okay. There's a whole series of TV series before the movies, so watch that before. Nice. Yasuke? on Netflix looks interesting. I've not heard of that one. Sam's like, yeah, anime, but I'm watching Beauty and the Geeks. That's great. Sometimes you need trash TV. You know, you just got to like calm down, relax, let your brain melt. If I want a movie, there's your name. Okay, cool. I'm actually going to screenshot this chat. Here we go. Yeah. So I have a question for you guys. This is totally not sponsored or anything like that. I realize that I've grown to depend on this thing. What is the I don't know, work or desk thing that you've purchased in the last year that you really value? Obviously computers and stuff like that are there, but I'm talking about like something less than $100, you know, something simple. I'm always looking for these little devices or little, productivity tools that we can add to the mix to be able to improve process and stuff like that. And I actually have been using this thing called Analog by Ugmonk. Jeff Sheldon is the designer and co-owner of this thing. But it's basically a analog wooden card holder that it's got cards in the back. Come on, focus. There we go. And basically each card has your to-do list for the day, and it props the card up like that so that you can always see it. And what I love about it is the archival quality. So what I was doing today is basically taking all the old cards and putting them back in the box. And you can take these out and just like look through them. And it's really interesting to see your day, 2 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever. But I realized that I was using this like every single day since I got this in December. I supported the Kickstarter, and I've got probably 2 years worth of cards. But it was just one of those, like, it just kind of seamlessly slipped into the process and haven't looked back. Yeah. Yeah. Matthew did get it. I sent it to Matthew when the Kickstarter was out. And definitely jumped on it because he was using Post-its. So I was like, dude, the paper quality of the cards is great. And it's got this, like, dot grid on the back of it. Focus. There we go. And then the front, I'll show you the front of the card. It's got this really nice. Come on. There we go. It's got a really nice list system on it, so that you can put the date up there. You can put like how productive you were by like a 3-dot ranking. Yeah, it's nice. It's just a simple thing that, I don't know, it just feels good to be able to strike through those tasks. Between that and my notebooks, that's about as analog as I can get. A candle wax warmer to keep your coffee hot? That is a great idea, Heather. That is a great idea. Huh. All right, let's get logged into Webflow here. You got a little foldable phone stand for about $5. That's cool. Yeah, I've had those before. I actually tend to lose my phone during the day somewhere in the house, but it's honestly been just, I don't have any space on my desk for another device, you know? I also tend to turn my notifications off. I don't know if you guys are on Clubhouse, but those notifications go off all the time. So I just had to cut that out of my life. But if you've been waiting to get on Clubhouse, what's really interesting is that they just opened access for Android in the States. So if you're on Android and you've been waiting to get into a room with Chris, jump on it. All right. Saw a mat with magnets for cables and double bottom. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. You still need a code? Jump in Discord and see if anybody's got a code. I think that Chris put out a link on his Twitter that you can get in without a code. So, yeah, see, Zach's got invites. There you go. MDS says he's tried so many times to sign up for Clubhouse. They just say your name is reserved, and I never get a text message back. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, I've just never been into Clubhouse. It's awesome, apparently. I just don't like it. All right, I think we're ready to go here. Okay, so part of the reason why I'm really stoked is because I get to show you the stuff that I've worked on kind of after hours when everything is dark and quiet in the house. And that focus usually is pretty productive for me. So let me share my screen here. Clubhouse feels a little too exclusive and better. Yeah, but it's also like an echo chamber. So the biggest problem that I had was like I jumped in a marketing workshop, I guess, and it was just the workshoppers. There was nobody else in it, and it was just like this weird, awkward thing where I don't know. There's just a lot of, I guess that you could say the same thing about any social media, but there's just a ton of garbage out there. It's a cult. And I don't want to throw any dirt on it, I don't want to throw any shade on it, because it's like people are using it to find clients, and it's apparently a great networking tool, and the stuff that Chris is putting out there is probably worth everything else that comes with Clubhouse, but for me it's a no-go. People are using fake verified symbols? What? Hey, Sachieri, hello. Hello. That's funny. I don't think I've been verified on any social platform yet. And to be honest, I've never thought about it or applied. Yeah. You've missed the streams? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. So, what did I do? Oh, I figured out the menu. So there's a couple of different things in the menu. It opens, it closes. So here we go. I changed the color scheme, obviously, to be opposite of the body. So whatever the body is, the background of the menu is going to be opposite. So it opens and it closes. I think I'm going to have it close the other way because it feels like it wants to come out of the left side and then retreat back into the left side. So that was done. The hovers are working pretty well. The only thing I need to fix here is that you see a flicker of the default image every time you go to the next hover. So the two things that I need to do is, or three things, I need to fix that, right? I need to fix that little flicker, and I think I have a way to do that. And then I need to bring in that big circular text that rotates. So I'm still working on that. That I might need some help from T-Rix. And then also I gotta fix the opening and closing icon, because if you notice, it doesn't show up. So this needs to be animated and needs to turn into like an X or something like that. I kind of want to do something creative though, because feel like a lot of people take the 2 lines and then they just turn it into an X, they fold, or they like go out of the frame and then come back in. So I could maybe do something a little different. But I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah. I also changed the hover color because that red was really, it was a little bit overwhelming. There was so much going on, so many things changing, that I just made it the default text color. So let's go back over here. Actually, we'll go to the Now page. So we definitely need to do some page transitions, but for now it definitely works. You guys have seen this, but what you haven't seen is the dark mode switch actually works. And this is, huge accomplishment for me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back, but it was pretty challenging. The solution was actually pretty easy, but getting there was challenging. And even like the hover effects, you notice that the overlay changes on these images, and then the background kind of changes of the mask. So yeah. And what's cool is the menu also changes whenever you go into dark mode. Menu changes to light mode. Yeah, boy. Right? I'm pumped. This thing's looking real good. You just turn it back. All right, so obviously still need to do these sliders. God, it's gonna kill me. But yeah, even this changes. So like the slider background color changes. You guys want to see how I did it? I'll walk you through it. Okay, so everything's done with Webflow interactions. So I've got the left nav here is just utter craziness inside in a good way. All right, so basically I've got a button here that's got an interaction. And you can tell it's an interaction by the lightning bolt in the navigator, and also the green lightning bolt symbol here. So if we go over here, we've got mode dark. And we'll bring this up. Let me see if I can zoom in on this so you guys can see what's going on. Basically, I've got every single one of my page bodies is now classed. And so when you click on that button for the first time, it changes the body background color, obviously. And then it changes the text color, which changes all the other text colors because we didn't set the text color individually. So the headings, all that kind of stuff is all set. Then we have this colored background, which if you'll notice, let's see, what's a good example of this? Let's go to a page that actually has content on it. So colored background, these are classed with things like this section line that actually has a color. Another good example. The menu is actually a colored background div. So let's go ahead and open that back up again. Click in here. So because the colored background is the opposite of the background color, that color just flips. It switches. And same thing with the text color. So any text that's inside that colored background div is going to flip to the darker text. So that's how the menu works. Then one other thing is that when you have a text link, you can see here's a great example of an error. This text link doesn't have, you can't see it, right? Because it's blending into the background. And that's because that the colored, or that the link color has to be set. Otherwise it shows up blue. That's one of those things in Webflow that it's just kind of a funny thing. So you have to set the all links color to black, and it doesn't respond to changes with the body color. It doesn't respond to those changes with the parent. And so I classed all of my links with this class all links that sets the text color, and then this interaction just changes the text color. That's it. Same thing with opposite links, right? So these are links that are inside something that need to switch from dark to light or light to dark. And then I've got this shaded background, and these are things like these cards. You can see here, this is the default card color. And it's basically, I have a light shade and a dark shade. Oh, hello. I don't know where she went. You wanna say hi? Okay, she does not want to say hi. There was an intruder. She's 2. Okay, you can say hi one time. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, you want to say hi now too? Okay, say hi.
Hi.
There she goes. Okay, give me a kiss. One more.
Hi.
All right. Close the door. Find mommy. Close the door. Mommy's blushing. Okay, where was I? I'm glad you guys like it. She says sorry. No reason to be sorry. You like it, I think. I only lost 1 viewer. I'm just kidding. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about the shaded backgrounds. All right, so you notice, like, if I go all the way back up here, whoops. So you notice this is like 1 shade darker than the actual background. Well, it's called shaded background on purpose because when it switches, it just changes shade to the darker color. So there's no blend mode or anything like that. It's just, yeah. And that's it. That's literally all it is. The animation works pretty seamlessly. The only thing that you have to remember is to add those classes, those combo classes onto everything. So like this has to be a combo class where, you know, you put the all links combo class on this link block. Same thing down here, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped at that. And then obviously the mode light just reverses everything. It goes back. So if we preview it, it works in Webflow preview. It's pretty great. I think the curve could be better, or the easing could be better. It's pretty rad. I was pretty thrilled. And I actually think I'm gonna change it to be default dark mode, just because I'm loving the dark mode better. Yeah. All right, what else did we get done? Nav bar and dark mode were like the big things. I've also got all of my pages basically laid out, with one big exception, which is the home page and the collab page. Oh, I figured out how to embed my stream, which is kind of cool. So if we go to contact, the stream shows up here. Hey, don't you do that. So it's not going to show up when I'm live, but it shows like a collection of videos, which I think is like a playlist of videos. So that's kind of cool because I'd really rather someone get to know me in the chat than shoot me an email and ask for advice, etc. So yeah, it works. Super excited. So today, I want to style this form. Was that through an iframe? It was through a default Twitch embed. It's actually pretty simple. So this was, let's see. Yeah, just this little script here. It pulls a div ID, or it pulls a div and puts the player inside. And you can specify what collection. So I just have this set to my like design and development collection, which is basically all of my videos. And on the front end, works great. All right, so what we're gonna work on today is this form. And what I've done so far is I've basically just pulled in a form element from Webflow as it is. So I went over here to the add, and then I grabbed this form block here. Whoop. So here's the form block. And I just grabbed this and dragged it on and then customized the fields. So you can see how that looks here. I'll add another one. I mean, this is as default as it gets. One thing I did do though is I wrapped a whole bunch of radio buttons in a div. So you'll notice that I have 4 different radio buttons here, and it kind of looks like from the back end, this was challenging for me to figure out. Basically, a radio button is Boolean, right? It's true or false. And if you want a multi-select, it can be a little bit confusing. But the way that you do these the way that you do these like single option selections with default Webflow radio buttons is that you just name the group name the same. So like I have 4 different radio buttons, but they're all under the same group name, which is content or contact type. So, see, contact type. All of them fit this same name. So what happens is when you go to publish it and you're on your form here, let's say you select collaboration, and then you're like, you know what? No, never mind. I think this is more going to be a partnership. Well, if they weren't under the same group name, when you clicked on partnership, you'd have 2 radio buttons that were active. But because they're under, the same group name, when you click it, it deselects the collaboration radio button. So that's a little, it's not even a hack. It's definitely default Webflow, but it's something that took a lot of research for me to figure out how to do that single selection radio button option. So I think that that's pretty much all that's the amount of progress that I made so far on that side. So now we need to style everything and make it look beautiful. I would check if they use your website's bandwidth to provide content if someone is watching from your website instead of theirs. How on earth would you check that? Let me know. Oh, and MDS, welcome to Twitch. Lickhith, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Guys, we're coming up on 1,000 followers pretty soon. This is crazy. There's 887 of you. Just insane. Thank you. I really appreciate that. When I started this, I kind of wanted to keep things small and just continue to find my voice, and this is just incredible. I believe that's something to be Googled. I don't know. I think I think that people like the design stuff more than the web development stuff. But we've got a bunch of people over on YouTube. There's 11 or 12 on YouTube. But I don't mind, honestly. We'll probably bring back some of the design stuff pretty soon. That way people come back to the fold. All right, so let's take a look at the contact form designs that we have. We had a couple of options, and this is one of those things where I was just like, I was frustrated, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna act. There's too many options for me. So basically, here's the first option that I laid out. It had a label that was in field inside the form field, and then when you clicked on this, when the form field was focused, the label moved up, kind of like the material design labels do. Material design labels actually start off as placeholders. Placeholders are this kind of grayed out text that you see in forms, and then they actually leave the form and move up to the top. But the UX people in the chat, they said that was a bad idea. So I was like, okay, well, what if we keep both? We have the placeholder here and the label, and then instead of animating the label completely and making the placeholder disappear, why don't we just animate it up, and interrupt the form border? So that's one concept. And then the second concept is down here where we're doing some crazy stuff. And this would be, on first glance, the form is just underlined. And then on focus, the border kind of expands to fill. And now that I've like had a moment to like step away from it and I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, I think that the first option is a little bit better. Not only is it going to be simpler to develop, but it's also clearer that it's an actual form. So I think I'm going to go with this guy. Hey, do more design. Hello. Okay. The radio buttons up there are going to be interesting. The 3D extrusion is, that's going to be a trick and a treat. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to move this over here so I can see things. And you guys probably won't be able to see what I'm looking at, but that's okay. How do I hide this? Am I totally missing it? Oh, here it is. Just libraries. Okay. Okay. So I did a little research, and one of the things that I wanted to emulate was that material design style label animation. And if we go back to our dashboard on Webflow, you can see I found, this is what's great about Webflow, people. I am so impressed with the community that's surrounding Webflow, because you can find these elements. People make example projects like this, and they allow you to clone those websites so that you can learn from it and use it in your own project. And sometimes they just don't load, and that's where we're at. Site migration failed. Oh my gosh. There we go. Yeah, clonable projects are it's I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that the community is one of the main reasons why Webflow's exploded. Obviously their UI is awesome, and the feature set is great. The clonable, I mean, it's just, it allows people to collaborate in a way that I've never seen before. So let's take a look at this. Here's the placeholder. You click on it, and nothing happens. Let's go publish version. Hold on now. It's not working. After I lauded the clonable thing, it's not working. My goodness. You really want to check out Webflow, but you'd be so lost. I think that it's a lot easier than maybe I make it seem. You just have to poke around with it. In the chat, Zach just did his first Webflow project. Zach, if you're online still, how did that go? Like, that was your first touch, right? We'll do this here. So one of the suggestions is to publish it to see, but I honestly don't think that that's it, because so strange. You know what? Maybe I ruined it. Let's go ahead and reclone that. I'll close it here. So here it is. So this is by Escrobonia 32. And you can, let's see. We'll go ahead and clone the project again. Material, design, form. The Webflow University is awesome and funny. As someone who helps run an education company, their content is awesome. Yeah. And it's kind of on-demand learning too. Like you don't have to have a whole bunch of, you don't have to watch it in order if you don't want to. Ah, there we go. All right, so you can see like pretty simple, you know? The label kind of animates out of the way. There's no placeholder, right? This email thing is the label. But it's pretty smooth. And you'll notice that we're looking at the preview and not the published version. And so if we go in here and kind of figure out what they did, you can see like the input wraps, they have no interactions. They have no animations on them as far as like Webflow interaction goes. So initially I was pretty confused. I had no idea why or how they did this, right? Because obviously it's animating and yeah. But what I realized is that they have a piece of HTML here. I'm gonna change this to fixed so we can see it. So if we open this up, you know, I don't know if you guys can read that, but basically there's when the input field is focused, it animates the label up. So it changes the position of the label, changes the font size, changes the color, changes the Z index, so it brings it up to the top, and then also changes the background of the label. And you can see that's basically what's happening here, right? The label changes position, changes color, and it adds a background so that it's visible on top of the border. So when you focus on that form, it changes the class, but that still doesn't say an animation to me. So I was trying to figure out how the heck they did this, because obviously it's moving, right? You can see the label moving, and they're pretty smart. And if we go over to our input, our label here, we see that, you know, if we select all labels, they've got a transition. So whenever any element changes, they've got a 200 millisecond transition set down here. So for those of you guys who are familiar with Webflow, it's not a Webflow interaction. It's not an animation. It's just a CSS transition that's applied when someone clicks on the form. So a little bit of custom code, and it was working pretty well. Oh, Heather, you did Flux's masterclass? Ron's great. Ron Segal. Well, great. I'm glad. It's a good testimonial for him. All right. Okay, so we've got this way to do this label animation with some custom code where we're basically just changing the CSS on focus. So let's just make sure we're seeing that. So when the user clicks on the form, then we just change the position of the label, which is pretty easy. The teacher in me, or the you know, I guess the educator that lives inside my brain wants to replicate this with Webflow interaction. So I think that's how we're gonna do our form editing. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's get back into our install. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna delete this one because obviously we ruined that one. Oh, it's all sold out? Oh. It could be a marketing play. Sometimes we do that just to create some urgency, you know? All right. So I'm going to be looking away from the camera whenever I'm referencing my design, and you guys can see just a little bit of it. So whenever you see this kind of come into focus, it's because I'm referencing some specific things. For example, the height of this form is 80 pixels. And let's go ahead and pull up the wizardry calculator. So that would be 4.7 EMs. So I'm going to start styling the form fields here, which means I need to add a class, and then we can start building these fields and making them look like our design. So we'll do contact form field. Just going to add the same form onto both of those. All right, so background's going to be transparent by default. And then we're going to have a border around the whole thing of 1 pixel. And we'll set that to our gray, our black color. Maybe it needs to be 2 pixels. Nope, it says 1. So the form height is not set, and that's because it's set using the font size. But I actually want to set that to our EMs. 4.17. Okay. And our placeholder size 28. That's 1.46. So I'm setting the font size here. And we can go ahead and get rid of all these paddings on the top and the bottom, and then change our height to 1. All right, so you notice that like when I change the font size, the it's way too huge. It's probably due to the height. Okay, so when I change the font size, I set the type size for this entire thing to be 1.46, and then the height is referencing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start decreasing this to a reasonable height. There we go. And maybe a little bit more. Uh-oh. Tim Rick's coming through on YouTube. He says, learn this the hard way. We shouldn't set heights on form fields. Just use paddings. I'm going with what you say, man. 100%. All right. So we'll do That works too. I wonder why that is. The pressure is real. No pressure, man. I think the pressure is only on when you claim to be an expert in this space. And I do not. I am sharing my journey right alongside you guys. Oh, you missed the opening. Mommy Rabble, hello. Cornelius, hello. All the OGs are coming in. Webflow geniuses watching our every step. I honestly do not feel pressured. All right, so let's just make sure that we're styling the placeholder correctly. Okay. I actually need that to be light. There we go. I'm gonna add some letter spacing in there too. Nice. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to our material design and see how they constructed their forms. So I'm pretty sure they had a input wrap. Yeah. So you can see they've got a wrapper around each input. They've got the actual input and then the field label. So we'll go ahead and emulate that because right now we don't have a wrapper on all of our fields. Whoever suggested Command K for search is just my hero. Thank you. So we'll do contact form, field, wrapper. Okay, so I just added a wrapper div around all of them. Omi Rabble always has the call to arms in the beginning. Get your hot energy liquids ready. Fire up those neurons. We about to work. I think the time for hot energy liquids is actually over. Yep, and it's time for the seltzer of the day. All right, we're going back to my absolute favorite of all time, which is the mango bubbly. Focus, there we go. It's true, it's the favorite. I don't know what to tell you. Never coffee is an all-day requirement. Yeah, if you want to be an anxious mess. So good. All right. One of these days, I'm just going to dump the entire seltzer on the mic. $400 right there. Boom. Done. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's style our labels. So we got contact impact form. Oops. Field not equal hyphens. Let's check out how they styled theirs. Position absolute. And it looks like it's under the actual input, which is smart. So input wrap is position relative. Yeah, okay. So something that, again, took me forever to learn was I don't actually think we need to go under. Whenever you have a positioning that's absolute, it looks to the parent container to get kind of directions on where to go, right? So if you have position fixed, that's different. It uses the actual browser window. So for example, my side nav, it's going to stay fixed to the side of the screen no matter where we scroll. A position absolute element relies on the parent container to get those directions on like where am I supposed to be, how am I supposed to act, etc. But the thing is that parent element actually needs to have a special positioning called relative, which is what we've done here. We've set it to relative in order for the absolute child item to recognize it, right? So if this were, I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna set this to static. That's the wrapper, and then I'm gonna change this field label to absolute. And you notice that right here, it's relative to the body. So it's getting the positioning from the body, or it's pulling that information from the body. So once we change our wrapper to relative, and we go back, oops, not the field label, the wrapper to relative. Now we can take a look at the form again, or the field again, and you can see it's, here we go. It's relative to the wrapper now. So that's something that can cause issues in the future if you don't know what that means. So I would definitely make sure that you know that. Label. Are those floating labels? They will be, yeah. They will be. All right, so we want to match the padding here. So let's see, what do we do here? We did... one EM padding. So we'll match that in our positioning. Get that to line up. There we go. We're gonna have to adjust things around just because we're changing font sizes, so the EM stuff is not gonna be terribly accurate in the beginning. Hey Vishal, good to see you over on YouTube. What about kombucha with added caffeine? I don't like kombucha. I don't understand it. I know I'm probably weird, but it's not booze, and it's not, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah. I'm sorry. Just don't like it. Oh, you're brewing your own? Now that is impressive. Wow. T-Rix. Webflow sets the form fields to pixels even if their size is set to EMs. Oh, interesting. So do I need to change all the paddings and stuff that I've put in place so far? There we go. Do I also not like shrubs or picklebacks? I have no idea what those are. Are those real? Are they real things? All right, let's see. So my thought process right now is I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do this with Webflow interactions. I'm not sure that I can set the trigger to a form focused. I think it has to be a mouse click. But what would be cool is to have the label animate on hover as well. I'm going to say probably 20% of the time that I'm developing stuff in Webflow is me sitting here like this, thinking through the problem until I get to the solution. The fields aren't scaling with the browser width right now. Oh, interesting. Okay. You are absolutely right, sir. Could add field class font size inherit. Is that the right way to do it, or should we just go with pixels? Looking at your guide here, Tim. Basically what we're trying to figure out is we've got our form fields here, and all the sizing and paddings and stuff like that are set in EMs, which is a like a relational unit, and it's supposed to scale down with the browser width, but it's not doing so. So we probably just need to set pixel height, right? A shrub is a sweet vinegar mixer for drinking vinegar. Interesting. Apparently it's a Pacific Northwest thing. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never had one of those. All right. Let's try this real quick. In our global HTML, I'll have to check that to see if that's right. Text field. Oh. Well, it did something there. Let's see. Yep, that looks like it worked. Okay. Oh, so I guess I need to set the font size on here, so 1.46, not VWEM. And then change it here. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So do... There we go. That worked. Okay, so basically what we did, and thanks for that, Tim. We added a little bit of custom code here, and then basically just told the form fields to inherit the font size from its parent element. Must be like just a unique thing in Webflow that they try and control the sizing of form fields. Anyway, we changed the size of the parent and it works great. Okay. So what I want to do here is maybe create a little bit of padding. Go maybe just allow that label to breathe a little bit. Line it up again. And that way we can, when we animate this and it pushes up into the border, we can set a background color here, and it should sit on top of the form field border. Let's try that. So I think I'm going to add the click element trigger to the form field. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, I found how someone did it without any Webflow interaction, but I just want to try it and see if I can get it to use the basically use the Webflow interactions to make this happen. So we'll start an animation. We'll add a new timed animation and go contact. Label animate on. And add a move. We're only gonna call that class, but we're only gonna affect siblings with this class, so you don't move every single label. 2.4. We'll do a easing out quart. Whoa. Get lined up there. And add a background color. This guy. Let's see if this works. Not bad. Oh, so Tim Rick says you can also trigger a Webflow interaction on form field focus with a tiny bit of jQuery. Just add a div inside the field wrapper as a sibling of the field, and then create an interaction on the click of that div. Is there an advantage of doing that over doing it this way, where we've basically set the click of the parent or of the field itself? Let me know. Okay, we also want to add, I think it's move. We want to bring it up. Let's see, how do we change the Z index? I think it's... maybe simply by switching it. Yeah, there we go. We actually don't need to change the Z index here. Okay, that works. So we want to trigger this on class. And go ahead and make sure that that works on both of them. And it does. Great. So we'll just need to make sure that our fields are organized the right way, where the field is on top. There we go. That works. Okay. I also want to add a hover effect that has the same thing. So we'll start an animation, we'll animate that on, and then on hover out, we'll do the opposite. Oops, forgot to select it. Here we go. And we'll make sure that we're targeting the class. And then when you click it, it should stay. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I see. So the only advantage of doing it with jQuery is for it to work on hover, or if you want the label to return. Oh, I see. They navigate with tab. Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I do that all the time. So basically, let's go ahead and remove this hover animation real quick, because that doesn't really work. So on click, it looks good. But what happens is, let's say you click on this name field and then you hit tab. It's not going to animate the label up because the trigger should be a form being focused. So I think, instead of looping in jQuery and doing it that way, I think I'm just going to duplicate what, this guy's done here with the material design form. We'll just add the piece of custom code here and be done with it. Keep it simple, There it is. There's a special kind of OCD that it takes to be able to, or that you have to lack in order to format your CSS like this. Monster. There we go. Okay, so this is basically saying when inputs are focused plus the label, we're going to change the positioning of the label. There's no prettier. No, there's not, unfortunately. All right, so let's see what this did. I think I want to go to 0.2 EM. Don't need to change the font size. Don't need to change the color, but I do need to change the background color. Let's just make it black so we can see if it's working. You don't need that. Okay, so it didn't animate because we don't have that transition in place. You can see when we focus on the field, it does work. Just need to fix it up a little bit. Make sure it's the right background color. We can lose all that, I think. Maybe. Let's see what it does. All right. Yeah, there we go. Wait a minute. Okay, so it has to be the right. Okay, got it. All right, so basically we just implemented the little bit of CSS from our cloned project here, and that seems to work pretty well. All right, let's see. We do need to style these labels though. Go medium. Should probably be a little bit bigger. There we go. And then let's add a transition here. All properties. There we go. So if you fill in your name, that works. Okay. Now we do the same thing with our text area. So let me ask you guys, are you tracking these, the changes that we're making here? Is it challenging to follow along? One of the things that I want to do is like make this friendly for people to watch, but sometimes like when you're like, the other goal of mine is to actually share the process, but I'm concerned that it's difficult to follow. The other thing that I'm noticing here is that oh, I think I know what's going on. Need to... No, that's not it. Okay, so the only thing that is not happening that I didn't expect is that this multi line text field is not animating the same way that the single lines are. So you see, these work really well. That one does not. So I'm wondering, this does the same thing. Yeah, it does. It's weird. Anybody want to venture a guess as to why that's not working on my... Hey, Chief. Good to have you in the chat. Make a copy of your CSS and change input to text area. Oh, I see. Yeah. That makes absolute sense. So let's duplicate it and then change. Ah, that worked. That worked great, actually. And it scales. Beautiful. We gotta fix the, we gotta add the label to our minimum limit, I guess. It's looking great. And we've got both placeholder and label visible at all times. Where did I get that custom CSS? It was from this guy. You'll have to pull it from the VOD because I cloned a project from someone in the Webflow ecosystem. And he's got it here in an HTML embed. It's pretty simple stuff. I totally forgot that the text area was a completely different thing than the input. Yeah. But if you Google material design form Webflow, it's probably the first one that pops up. All right, so that's looking good. So one thing I'm noticing here is our form field only spans 3 columns. So that's definitely one thing I want to make sure that we change here. That's pretty easy. So we'll basically just change the class from 4 columns to 3 columns. Boom, roasted. Done. No, not done yet, but close. This close. All right, what else do we have here? We've got our radio button styling. And our button. Okay. All right, take a quick break. And I'll be back in 2 minutes. right, we're back. We are back. All right, let's format this button, or let's style this button really quick, and then we'll move into the radio selects up there. And I think I'm gonna go with this styling for the radio selects. The only thing that I don't know that we'll get to today, because I've only got 30 more minutes, is the extrusion, right? So like this cool pink 3D effect on hover. Yeah. All right, Hugo, appreciate it. We'll see you later. So the entire field wrapper could be added to the min font size, so it takes care of everything. Okay, cool. Easy peasy. Okay, let's just format this button here. You have more coffee? She has more coffee. Coffee time. That's plenty, thank you. Yeah. I just want coffee, not an anxiety attack. Sometimes it's a 2-cup day, but you know. Justin, see, told you. That's funny. Radis says, I like how I don't develop web anymore, but I still enjoy watching you build stuff. I appreciate that. Whether you're learning or pointing and laughing, either way, I'm good. All right. The one thing about Webflow contact form buttons is that I'm curious to see if we can add an image in there or not. Every day is a 2-cup day. Dude, I drink 2 cups of coffee and I'm toast. Like, I'm up till 4 in the morning, just completely wired. I did not always used to be like this, but recently it's been maybe with age that happens. Okay, what was I doing? I was trying to add an image in here. Yeah, I don't think you can add an image into button. I'm used to using link blocks. You're getting old, says the 35-year-old. Dude, you're older than me. I'm 34. You gift yourself. Heather gifts herself a 2nd cup on school nights. That's funny. Okay, so since we can't add the image into the button, I guess we're just gonna have to style it without it, even though I do like that, the way that looks, but that's okay. Dude, T-Rix, thanks, man. He's over in YouTube throwing comments in here that it's making me look good. Thanks, dude. He says, I think you can add it as a background image or just use the button as a clickable link block absolutely positioned over your regular button, which is really, really cool. So if we go with the former, and we just add a background image, right? Let's say here, put it on center. We'll have no repeat. And let's go ahead and choose our image. Here's our arrow. Normally with like CSS, you should be able to, yeah, but with this, it is impossible. I'm not seeing our arrow in here. Let's see what it is. I bet you it's a piece of text. It sure is. So we're going to copy that. Bam. I mean, you can't do anything fancy to it, but so if we wanted to be basic, we could keep it just like that. But I don't think we want to be basic, right? Tim, I wonder why that is. Why can't you edit these, like put things inside of button elements like you can with link blocks? All right, let's style this as, we'll just keep the text maybe. Yeah, you started not using default Webflow buttons for that reason. Is there a way to do a non-default Webflow button for a form though? So here's the form button. I wonder if we just added like a link block here. Page, no. Phone, file, no. Does not give me the same options as a form button. Yeah, it's so strange why they did that. All right, well, let's change this here. We'll get rid of the pink background color. We'll set this to transparent. So now we're editing the default contact form button. And then we'll just set this to 100%. And I guess we can keep all that there. And I bet you can't. Oh, you can. Interesting. Some bit. Okay, so I just put a button inside of a link block. How much you want to bet that that's going to be an issue? let's go ahead and position this absolute. We will set the wrapper to relative and start styling. Restyling. Now we can add some other elements inside this link block. So we'll do set text. Add another container here. Pull our link arrow so we can style those differently. Tone that down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I'll probably just make this, let's see. The only weird thing is that if you'll notice the contact form submit is, if we remove these paddings here, it's almost offset. To the container, and I'm not really sure why. There we go. So Sam says the form submit script should be bound to the form submit event, not the button click, if it is on Webflow. Yeah, I've noticed that before because we've tried to like do some different styling and add some different like button techniques to that before. But this is the hack, right? So we've got our form submit button, which is basically a transparent clickable div that's positioned absolute over our other elements. So that way I can add a hover effect to this link block. So let's say on hover, we change the background color to red. And the font color to gray. And then just add a simple transition here. So we're actually working on and animating the link block wrapper versus the actual button that's kind of like overlaid on top of everything. It just contains nothing. Okay, that works. Only thing is I do want to get rid of the width here. And just add padding. Okay. Holy smokes, it's already 10 to 1. All right. I had hoped to get these styled, but it does not look like I have that time today. All right. One thing that I did notice though is when these fields are focused, the border color changes to blue, so I need to fix that. So let's go here, change our selector to focused, and wonder where that's changing. Maybe that's just the default that we have to change. So we'll just click black, increase that to 3 maybe. Let's try that. Three might be a little too far. Here we go. Justin, have fun. Good luck with your podcasting. And post links in Discord if you get a chance. Not sure if you guys are still around, but Multi Micah and Puella Lux, thank you for the follow. Right. I think that's as far as we're going to take it today. That's pretty cool. Okay, so like floating form labels like this that animate out of the way has been something that I've wanted to do for years. And there's no, like, we probably could just have left the field label there. Like, there's probably not like a real reason for that, aside from just aesthetics. But sometimes you have these things where it's like you see it and you want to try it, and your personal site is a great place for that. I think that like the passion for web design and the passion for trying new things is really important to nurture. So let's see, we need to tweak this position here. There we go. Yeah, so that worked. All right, so I'll probably finish these fields late tonight after the day job. And then on Thursday, what I think we're going to do is actually move into responsive design. So the bulk of the styling on desktop is done. All of the collections have been finished. We really just have some interactions and some animations to figure out. We got to add the noise, the background noise to the site, and figure out how that's going to work with light mode and dark mode. That's going to be really interesting. But I think that we're about ready to start working into the responsive space. So that's going to be fun. Usually the sites that I've done in the past, we are maybe 2 or 3 days are spent on responsive stuff. So it's really not that big of a deal. So I think that once that's figured out, then we just move into content. We start injecting content into the site because there's a lot of lorem ipsum in there so far. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Pretty stoked. Oh, check this out. The dark mode actually works pretty well with those forms. We just have to work on the border and that background color. So that's going to be interesting. Doable though. Very easily doable. All right. Franjo, hello. Oh man. Yeah, you've missed a lot. Let me recap what we've got done so far for you. So, go desktop vid. All right, so here's the collab page. What we were working on was the contact form here. This is just about done. We just have to style these radio buttons and then we're good to go. But we've got a menu that's functional. So our now page is looking good. Got some cool hover effects on these, which decided not to work, but that's cool. And then we've also got a light mode, dark mode switch here. Yeah, man. And the light mode, dark mode switch actually flips the menu as well, so. Yeah, so we're making good progress. All of the pages are up in some form or shape, and most of the styling is done. And getting there. I appreciate that. Thank you. We gotta get that grain in there. The grain really makes the color palette. It's like it gives it that texture that it's missing. And then the other thing, I don't know if we're gonna do it this week or next week, but I have this idea of pulling in some marker textures where if you hover over a link, maybe like a a red marker comes in and circles the link instead of just having that underline animate in and out. So there's some other things that I want to do, but I'm trying to keep focused so that we can get this project done, or done to a point where we can publish and put the series out. So yeah, appreciate that. All right, guys, I think that's it. Let's take a look who's streaming. Let's see if we can raid somebody. Oh, A's streaming. I didn't see him in the chat. I appreciate it, Moonraid. Turn this ad off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and set that raid up right now. For those of you guys who are new to Twitch, raiding is where we can all go to another user's channel together and visit them and get them all hyped up, and it's a great way to share audiences and just to create a awesome community. I was invited to a design team on Twitch, which is kind of cool because, you know, there was maybe 2 or 3 design streamers before this, and I would love to see, you know, people sharing their process and sharing their design, even if they're working on client stuff and just chilling. I'd like to see more of that on Twitch because I think that there's immense value in just like sitting next to somebody and working. You pick up these little things like, you know, working with Tim Ricks. It's been amazing because the small things really matter, like setting your HTML embed to fixed. So it's always available to you as you scroll down the page, like little teeny things like that you pick up from other people. And it's kind of like being able to sit next to someone and just look over the shoulder from time to time. Just say, hey, you know, how'd you do that? So I would love it if you guys would start streaming. I think it'd be really, really valuable to the community and hopefully give you some confidence. But yeah. All right, so the 18 of you who are on Twitch, get ready for this raid. Let's go ahead and do this. For everybody else on YouTube, thank you so much. It just went away. There it goes. Right on. Okay, YouTube. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.